Hello and welcome. I should close that door, right? Hello and welcome to the Banter Blitz show for today, Wednesday, the 20th of May. Let's get right to the real game view. And this is kind of odd, right? Why don't I see the challenges here? It's not good. I need to get to the challenges. And let's get a game going. And this is better, right? Yeah, looks good, right? So, first game against Tom 247, and before I forget, I should definitely have the full chat view for Twitch, YouTube, everything. Okay, he played d4. I played d5. That cannot be a bad move. And we got the London. Yeah, people do that. And it's not going to get away. It's not going to get away. The London is here to stay. I don't know. Probably not going to be a very talented hip-hop artist with rhymes like that. Okay, so I got the center, and I think d takes c5, what white did here. I don't know if that can be so good. With this big center, I'm quite happy. I have to be aware that this 30-minute chess, 30-minute chess, 3-minute chess, not 30, 3 minutes. Okay, so let's castle. And I'm happy to develop here. That looks good. Now with bishop on e6, it's even difficult for him to play c4. I can just take that pawn. And now go b5. He says here's e4. Miktal asks if Chess24, Chessable and Play Magnus are one family. Is that right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not really an expert in the way this is structured. As far as I understand that they are somewhat connected, and like Play Magnus is the kind of Magnus's company, and they have a share in the other two. This is what I think is right. There's of course a cooperation going on, and therefore it's completely fine for Miktal to manage that there's a course out called the Magnus Touch, featuring Magnus's best currently middle games and chess strategy, and it is co-authored by me, so thanks for mentioning it. It's probably something that we should get also here. I still have Fight Like Magnus in there. That was the... Oh, he gives me e3 with check. This is too tempting. Cannot resist. I have no real preference for 3 or 5 minute. Just for the commentary, it's not bad to have 5 minutes. You got more time to talk about the games. But 3 minute has the advantage that we get more games in. I don't mind 3 at all. I am in the last couple of weeks I have played more 3-minute chess, and therefore I don't mind practicing this. So just challenge me in 3 minutes if you like. It's completely okay. So yeah, here I'm a lot better. I'm a pawn up. I won a pawn, and what's also nice, I have a really nice control over the center. Bishop d6. I mean, it does attack the rook. Okay, I'm on that knight, but my rook. Let's do this. Push the knight away. Okay, and this will be more material. Those two pieces are unprotected and both attacked. Yeah, thanks for the game, Tom247. Just for the opening, I don't think it's a good idea to take here on c5. I cannot. I believe this is not the right moment to do it. The problem is that I'm so quick with e5 that I feel black must be completely fine. Okay, now I have a challenge by hubba bubba PL. Let's do that. And play against hubba bubba PL. Knight f6. Maybe g6, just for variety's sake. Okay, the Grunfeld. It's the only mainstream opening I think I've never played in tournament chess. I always felt scared about it. Why do you think so, Miktal? It says the cross promotion between the various Play Magnus platforms is not very good. I mean, that's not really my area of expertise, but I think nobody minds good advice. This looks like a nice position for black, I think. Just going to take. One important point is the queen on d5. Often you don't want the queen out early on because it gets kicked around, attacked by the minor pieces, but on d5 that's not happening. No, there is constant promotion, Mick, during the live shows in particular. I think you will see a lot about Magnus Touch now in the current broadcast for the heck of me, Lindorus Abbey Rapid. Yeah, there should be lots of promotion there. I did not have the opportunity yet to see one of the broadcasts. I was too busy the last 2 days. Wednesday is usually the day where I do I don't do much of chess teaching anymore because I'm so much involved with writing and doing courses and so on. And the teaching that I still do is usually on Tuesdays, so I didn't manage to watch anything yesterday. Yeah, greetings to the chat participants on Twitch and on the other platforms. Okay, rook d1. The move knight a5 is a little bit annoying here. I would like to play bishop d5 against that. Knight a5 is a bit annoying, really. What to do about it? It's a bit annoying. I cannot play b6, of course, as c6 is vulnerable. He can take on b6 then, for example. It's not so easy, indeed. not so easy. I could go e6, knight a5, bishop d5, but then he said got rook c7. It's not so easy. And e6, knight d6 check also looks a bit annoying. I don't know what else. I can castle, but knight a5. Now knight a5, I have bishop d5. I could castle, but knight a5 was annoying. Okay, this is helpful. Now I can simply trade down. And then ending with bishop against knight, for example, is fairly straightforward for black. The extra pawn is usually easily converted if you have a bishop against the knight on such an open board. Okay, and simply back to e8. Preserve the bishop and play f6 later. Yeah, Mick, what you suggested, I have absolutely no idea about things like that. I'm not really involved with decisions like that, how to yeah, what should be part of premium and things like that. So I really don't know. As an author, you're not involved with things like that. I'm not even involved, let's say, with the pricing of courses or so. This is not my part. I just write and write, record, take care about the quality of the material, things like that. Yeah, thanks for the game, Hubba Bubba PL. He just gave me the knight as well. There's a question. I'm curious about the sec for seconds. What is his nationality? I'm German. So you see, this is part of the German. I see part of the German interface here, right? Okay, that was Hubba Bubba. I've got a bieber challenge. Bieber, the beaver, right? Funny animals, like them. So I'm playing a line that is featured in my Keep It Simple D4 book, the green one, this green one, really difficult. Queen B3. Yeah, I heard that Magnus had some good games, and there was a draw against Nakamura when Nakamura was struggling but managed to defend a difficult position. That's what I heard, but I didn't see the games. Okay, stopping knight b4. I think I read something on Twitter, something like that, but I was not able to check in any detail. I'm always working on new stuff. As was mentioned, the Magnus Touch strategy is released on Chessable, released on Monday, and of course we have additional parts coming. This was the strategy middle game part, and we have an end game part as well. And the end game part is scheduled for release in some weeks, and I still have to put in some work into that. And while I'm doing that, I cannot watch any live broadcast. I need to focus. Okay, h4 is stopping any g5 business, preparing bishop f4. An interesting thing is that bishop c2 is a move, but I'm just going to ignore that. Giving up this pawn. It's possible, but not really Very scary. Knight e4, I think. Very complicated position, and Bieber taking a bit of time. An interesting approach is f6 and possibly trying to prepare g5. Yeah, that's true. I have two weekly shows, one in English language, this one obviously. At least I'm trying to do it in English. Sometimes I fail, but I try to. And there is the German show. Yesterday there was the German show. So if you want to brush up your chess-related German, let's say, you're welcome to watch my German show. So yeah, do I go rook a2 or just castle? I think I just castle. Yeah, thanks for asking. There was a in the chat asking about how I am. Yeah, I'm doing good. Lots of work. Still, today I had a very scary phone call, the yearly phone call with my accountant and tax guy. This is always like, oh, when you can, yeah. I'm an entrepreneur, so to say. So I have to do the taxes on a yearly basis, and it's always it's painful. It's somehow a lot more painful than comparable if you get your monthly taxes already subtracted from your subtracted, is that a word, from your income. Yeah? When you just get the regular payment, you kind of know, okay, yeah, you pay your taxes, but if you have to pay like in one go, it's like, oh, it's really painful. Okay, this is not strictly necessary, but I'm giving up the exchange because I'm threatening the a7 pawn, and I think the rook probably has to go to a8 to cover it. And now I'm going to expand on the queen side. It looks like I don't have many difficult decisions. I have c4 and b5 coming up. 5-card draw asks if I have ever met Ulf Andersson. Yes, I've played Ulf once, even in a Blitz match, in a Blitz game. One game at a local, in fact, Blitz team event, because Ulf is already for a couple of years playing for a club which is not so far away from my place, and they play in the same, it's the same region in Germany, and for Düsseldorf. And we played a draw back then. He has some problems, I think, in over the board blitz. He just doesn't have the, yeah, he's a very friendly guy. He has some problem with his base speed. Simply, he's just very slow. And we played a draw. I think the position was rather unclear, but I would have won on time. But you could clearly see that he was not comfortable with playing quickly. So we made a draw, and it didn't really matter for the result. I'm not going to sit there and kind of hack the clock to beat Ulf Andersson on time. It makes no sense. It was just a fantastic experience to meet him once. I've played him quite a lot online, actually. Back in the day. Olympiu G. Interesting. It's one of the chess history buffs. Well known and prolific on Twitter. Played him a lot back in the ICC days. Ulf was playing a lot of Blitz and Bullet online. Never played Olympiu, right? No. So, play a Nimzo. F3 is a very critical variation. Very sharp. And I tend to forget what I'm playing. I can play D5. And I can play this. And I can play the old lines from my Nimzo Bogo book. But the thing is, I should know both. And I have forgotten both. Yeah, would be good to at least know one. I know that. No, actually F5. We have F5 in the course. I'm such a clown. F5, of course, not Queen A5. Arg. Last year I co-authored. Really. I co-authored this Nimzo and Bogo, Nimzo and Rogozin repertoire with FIDE Master Daniel Barish for Chessable, and these lines with D5 I really like, but I have forgotten. And this time I actually made a semi blunder with Queen A5. This is not a bad line, Queen A5. It's just that we have F5 in the course, and I like that more than Queen A5, but I was just too quick. Oh, played Queen D6. Okay. Yeah, it's something that I should have paid attention to, because B6. What did I do here? I also cannot castle here because the knight is always hanging. I really dislike this. This is not a good position. The pawn structure is quite nice for black. Yeah, this is nice. C3 and A3 are weak pawns, but white has tremendous activity. In particular, the bishops are strong. Bishop on E3. So I'm trying to get rid of the queen from D6, so that I can at least castle. Queen trade would be nice, but I expect white to move the queen away. Yeah. Maybe that's not so bad. I'm not quite sure where Olympiu is supposed to go now. Yeah, Queen B6, Queen B4. I have Knight C6, and then I can finally castle. No. And one very important piece of advice. It's not a chess advice, but it's still very important. Whatever you do, if you ever intend to visit the Netherlands and you go by car, make sure to not get a speeding ticket. They're friggin' expensive. Very expensive. the worst part is, the worst part is I only, they got me within what is the right word for that? Not on the highway, but just within a city, and I was only, and this is the worst part. I was only above the limit. The 50 is the limit, and I was driving 59, and they reduced that by 3, so it's 56 kilometers per hour, right? Not miles, if you're wondering. And so 6 above the limit, and this is actually 50 euros. 50. I went to that place to buy the really affordable coffee. Yeah, the Netherlands don't have a coffee tax, so I saved a bit of money on coffee, but it didn't quite work out that well, because the 50 bucks I have to drink so much coffee, it will never work. 50 is for being 6 kilometers too quick. I think 50 is excessive. I don't even think that should be a ticket. I'm absolutely fine that they have tickets for speeding. This is completely, it makes sense. I'm blundering e5. In the sense that if you endanger people's health, but if I'm driving 55, I'm not endangering anybody at all. So I find this is just not correct. I bought about 4 kilos of coffee, so it's not that it was kind of okay. I think what I got there, but threatening mate. Rook g1 checkmate. That's annoying. And that's the h-pawn. I miss e6. I'm a clown. Such a clown. Want him to take with the pawn. Okay, that's a draw. In many ways, actually. Now I'm a pawn up. Of course, you can never win. It's just not possible. Getting somewhat interesting now. I got no time. Oh, that was an unlucky pre-move, but it probably won the game because he was so irritated by it. Ooh. Did he blunder the rook? Yeah, I was mostly playing very quickly. So let's play a game against Jonathan Espeland. So to sum things up, yeah, I'm not against speeding tickets. I think if people are in danger, it makes total sense. But I feel 50 is excessive for this violation of traffic rights, or whatever you may call it, traffic regulations. Okay, so let's see. I'm happy with the coffee, yeah. I'm happy with it. Yeah, this is a nice position for white. Rook d1, knight c3. No, I actually buy German coffee there. I buy my decaf coffee in the Netherlands, the cheap one that I drink in the evenings. For my morning coffee, I usually get some from small roasteries, which are, this is a lot more expensive but extremely nice. But I simply cannot drink, let's say, real coffee in the afternoon or in the evening. I'm too sensitive with the caffeine. So I drink some decaf in the late afternoons and in the evening. Okay. It looks wrong. I also drink tea. Okay, let's play something reasonable. Okay. The funniest speeding ticket I ever got was in Venice. That was very funny. I was going to Venice by car. Rook takes this bishop a4. Ugh. Yeah, you're kind of going to Venice by, you go by car, you're crossing like a longer, like a dam that you're driving on, and somehow I managed to drive too fast on that. It was really funny. And Italian authorities also took ages to send me that ticket. It took like more than half a year. When I got that, I was it was in the summer, and I got it in, I think, January or something. And then I was like, what? I first thought it was a fake ticket, because I mean, who takes half a year for a speeding ticket? But they took a while. But then the payment was really nicely organized. You could pay it online, and they even had online a picture of me sitting in that car and looking like a complete clown, as usual when you are photographed by those cameras. Didn't play this well, really. Can take b7. Can take e6 and give the check, but it's got f5. I don't know. I think I'm just unlucky. I'm not speeding. Like not not every time. Not playing this well. Oops. All right, thanks for the game, Jonathan Espeland. Maybe it's Jonathan. Jonathan is probably not right. Ephus, the right way to pronounce it. Let's play Ephus. Ephus. I think they just took ages to go through all the speeding tickets in Venice. Maybe that happens all the time. So, we've got the English here once every show, but the early knight f3 suggests that I won't get this h5 business. Okay, so completing my development slowly but surely. Queen d7, trying to play bishop h3. That's true. You can still play h5 against knight f3, but it's not as effective. Yeah, it's probably the right way to put it. Okay, I'm going to take that. Hello to, oops, I'm screwing everything up, to Golodion in the chat. How's your club doing in the pandemic? Playing, doing stuff online by now, or what's going on? Let's get rid of that. Okay, he's... Okay, so this is a trade. Oh, that doesn't sound too good. I asked somebody I know in the chat about their club's activity during the pandemic, and it seems that nothing much happens. Yeah, my club actually sees more activity now online than it was offline before. Never had so many people participating in Blitz events, for example, now that they're online compared to before. Okay, so knight c4. I tried to do something good with my knights. Let them jump. Okay, now I can take here, win a pawn. Knight takes d5, there's just queen c6, and I'm winning material. Yeah, that can happen. I mean, if you have people... Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, no? Golodion says that many of his clubmates don't even want to use Discord or Zoom to meet, as there are no club meetings, and they don't want to do it for data security reasons. These are usually the people who don't even do online banking. Like, what kind of fantastic stuff do you have online? Probably nothing ever. And then they are very much concerned about data security. This is always, I think, extremely funny. But anyway, and he also says that the officials don't do that much. I think what many officials don't understand is if you don't secure some kind of activity for your club life during the pandemic, there is no club life after the pandemic, because people will simply not return. I already know that a couple of my club mates say that they don't want training, like we have monthly training sessions in the club. They don't want that anymore. They want them online and to stay online. They don't want to go to that place, whatever, and they just want it online. It's better. The Blitz tournaments online are simply better. It's just what it is. You just have to be honest there. Sure, you can drive around all the time and play those tournaments, but online is just better. Any of those tournaments. And if you don't offer people something like the chess clubs after the pandemic, or when we get to some kind of normal state, they have to adjust heavily. Otherwise, they will just lose lots of members and don't gain any new members. There are many people interested in chess, but just imagine they come to a chess club, and then what do you tell them? Like, you can play in our club and we have team matches, yeah. And okay, then they ask, what are you doing in those team matches? And then you say, yeah, we drive to that place on Sunday mornings, and then you sit there for like 6 hours, and yeah, isn't that great? And then they ask, wait, what? 6 hours for a single game of chess? I have a family. And this is like totally ridiculous. So you just have to adjust a chess club life to modern scenarios. This is not something that came with Corona. It's something that is overdue for years. And maybe it helps. Some clubs maybe will not adjust in a way and then simply go away. Okay, I can simply take that, right? Gift me the pawn. So where is the queen going? I think to a4. I don't want to play queen b3. Knight e5. Yeah, okay, I'm a pawn up. This is good, but it's still not totally simple, as c5 will activate black's position quite a bit. Would like to prevent that, but it's not really possible. Going knight e5. It's not so easy. It's not so easy. There's a question in the YouTube chat. Should I buy his book? Has anyone read it before? Do you mean a book of mine? I don't know. I don't know if people read my books. I know that they are bought, which is not the same thing. Yeah, people. I have also bought many chess books, but never read them. So I cannot confirm people reading the book. Some probably do, but mostly I can confirm purchases because I get statistics for that. And the feedback is generally positive, what I get. I recently got a message by a German grandmaster, actually, who got the Keep It Simple D4, and he basically said it's about the best opening book that he knows, which I found very flattering. And he has used the repertoire successfully in games. Grandmaster. So it's not... he faces a fairly serious opposition. So my idea is bishop h6 here. And the queen is hanging. I could have taken the queen, but my queen was attacked as well. So it was a bit tricky. There's a question about the origin of my name because it sounds Polish. That's true. What's going on here? I can take the rook now, right? To win the exchange. His queen is still attacked, so I'm in exchange up now. E3. Yeah, I know that the name is originating from the eastern parts of what was back then Prussia, part of Germany. These areas nowadays are of course Polish, but my family back then, which I really don't have any clear knowledge of, but they migrated to the western parts of Germany in the late 19th century. So there's nobody, for example, in my family that speaks Polish or something like that. But I never really explored this all that much. Maybe there is some information where they're exactly from or so, but I never really took a huge interest there. Okay, I got a question by AJ2004, very high rated player. Let's play. What do I do? D4? We're talking about the D4 book. Why is my rating so low? Did I lose some silly games? I probably did, huh? I don't remember. Did I lose much today? Don't remember. Don't think the session was too bad. The D4, the Keep It Simple D4 book is featuring lines like the one that you're seeing with D4, Knight F3 and G3. Yeah, it's true, yeah. Sea Eagle says, I blundered a rook against him yesterday, which was indeed costly. Yeah, costly mistake. Okay, castles, go before. Yeah, I'm mostly focusing on those setups, and what you say, it's not about the London or the Queen's Gambit. That is true. You need to make some decisions. Let's say if you want to write a full D4 repertoire. you have to make some decisions to make it or still keep it in a way that it can be used. And it's very difficult to get everything in one book. And if you do it with main lines, Queen's Gambit main lines or stuff like that, it is basically not possible to do it in one book and to still have a good repertoire. I misplayed this. Yeah, I really dislike that. Why did he manage to play e5? I should be quick enough to prevent that. It's a bit weird. What did I do wrong? This is not really what you want. It's actually really difficult if you do mainline Queen's Gambits, for example, to prove advantages against the sidelines. Really difficult. Even stuff that you feel like shouldn't be complicated. I mean, if you ever try to refute stuff like the Chigorin defense of the Queen's Gambit, you will recognize it's actually difficult to do so. Don't like my position. I don't know, what did I do wrong there? I'm a little bit stunned that I misplayed it that badly here. But he pretty much got what he wants. It's not necessary, really. I don't have to get there. Don't like my position at all. Now he tries to free the bishop, which was the only problem that he still has left. That bishop is a little bit out of the game. We'll see. At least I'm somewhat active now after b5 being in. The c4 course that I had on Chessable is currently not up for purchase. There's a question in the chat. The reason is that I'm working on a new c4 based repertoire, the lifetime repertoire 1 c4 knight f3, and we did not want to have an active c4 course for sale while something new is in the works, and then people would buy the, let's say, the existing older course, and then like a couple of weeks later they see, oh, there's something new, why did I buy the old one? So we set this as inactive for the moment. Okay, the knight on d5 has discoveries on the bishop, but then d4 is also hanging. Not so good. Maybe let's trade this off. Rook d6, however, can be played, which I did not appreciate. Still not a big deal. Rook b4 maybe. Okay, I've got rook h5. His knight is so awful on a6. It's tough to imagine that I'm in some sort of trouble. Okay. So let's attack h6. Yeah, he wants rook h6 and then he wants to capture. On g4. Ah, it's hanging. Ah, the friggin' rook is hanging. This is awful. Never ever, never ever should I lose this game. It was just a draw. Then I blunder into a one mover. That's useless. I should never lose this game. I'm completely fine here, even a pawn down. Black's position is so passive, I should never lose that. But how exactly do I draw? Knight f5, he still has rook g, he has king g6, so that's probably not right. King g7. Yeah, so rook h6. I mean, I was actually too lazy to calculate that, but maybe I can take it even. I mean, because this is a thing. It could be a draw. Yeah, I thought it's just a draw anyway, so I didn't bother to calculate this stuff. And then I blunder into this nonsense. It makes absolutely no sense. Here I have no clear draw though. Maybe I should just calculate the other line, and make that draw. I kind of screwed the opening up. I really wonder why I was too slow. This. I've had this on the board like a million times. Knight b3 maybe. So bishop here, bishop d8, and then f4. I probably have to get this in. It's just essential to do that. To stop e5. That's probably the way to do it. I forget my own stuff. Okay, now who is challenging me? Is there anybody I've never played? Dribble. I've never played. So let's do it. The youngest world champion ever. I mean, we're talking about the classical line of world champions, yes? Is that Kasparov or Tal? I'm not sure. That's a nice thing to figure out. So Kasparov won the title in 1985. And the match was late in 1985. So he must have been 22, yeah? Kasparov is born April 13th, 1963, if my memory is correct. And usually it is correct. That means he was 22. And Tal won the title in 1960. And he was born in 1936, I think. You can look that up. I think it's right, 1936. So he was 23. So Kasparov, I think. Yeah, Ponomarov doesn't count. The FIDE world champions don't count. The knockout people. I think usually you only count the heritage line, starting with Steinitz and ending with Carlsen at the moment. Yeah, I think Siegel is probably right. Yeah, we have got Magnus and Tal at 23. I think you usually have the knockout world champions counting as like the FIDE world champions or the knockout world champions, because they did not get the title, let's say, out of this heritage line. And what Carlos is saying, it was basically a World Cup. Nowadays, the World Cup is what back then was the World Championships, so to say. And this does not mean any, this is important, and it doesn't mean that, and sometimes it is viewed that way. Let's say that, I don't know, like Kasimdzhanov or Ponomarev, that they were like weak players or something like that, which is completely ridiculous. They won those fantastically strong tournaments, but they are not part of that that line of world champions. So you have this, this chain, basically, when you say that Karpov was the 12th, Kasparov the 13th, then Kramnik the 14th, Anand the 15th, Carlsen the 16th. So we have this line. So I'm trying to get this pawns rolling here against WW Wibble. So if I get to... He could move this bishop here. Now I'm threatening d6 for the breakthrough. I'm really not sure that... Yeah, I mean, okay, this is a way you can count this, like winning 1 world championship matches, like Magnus 4 times world champion. It's a way you can count it. I usually think that just thinking about this in terms of years of reign, let's say, how long did they keep the title, is the proper way to look at it. In that regard, of course, Lasker is king, yeah, being world champion for 27 years, but different times, of course. Back then there was no proper cycle, let's say, where everybody had a shot of qualification. At qualification. Yeah, so thanks for the game WW Wibble, or WWW Ibble, maybe. So a challenge by neue. Let's do this and play d4. Not getting anywhere with my rating. I don't know. I probably really have to make an effort sometime when the new play zone is out and play a bit more on Chess24. I want to get to 3000, where I should be. I think I can get there easily with enough practice. Easily is strong, but I can get there. I'm not sure about the new play zone. I heard that it's not far off, absolutely not far off. Talking, I think, more weeks than months. But again, I don't really have a huge inside information. I have seen the play zone, and I mean, they still have design work to do, but it's clearly a lot snappier and quicker. So this will be a huge step forward. Thanks for the message, AJ. Good to know that you have used some of my chessable repertoires. Okay, so neue now has to deal with the pretty straightforward threat of e5, and he did. Wow, that is really true, yeah. If I take with the knight, I'm blundering e4, so I have to take with the pawn. And this is a really ugly pawn structure. Whoa. AJ, the player who beat me a while back, some games before, has confirmed that he is a FIDE master, and there was the answer how it is possible to. So yeah, he was very strong. It has no title in there. It's not yet. It is not yet confirmed his title, but I think there are actually quite a good number of strong people who don't have any title. I think one reasoning is that the FIDE master title is solely depending on rating, and some people, if they have this rating to be qualified for FIDE master, you still have to pay money to FIDE to get the title. And some people feel that they get the title of IM at some point, so they feel it's not worth spending the money. Not sure about this. It's not worth spending the money to get the FM, because in the long run you get the IM. There is some rationale. It makes some sense. And this is why some people that are very strong have no title at all. You see that quite a bit. I also have a student, I think she could theoretically apply to get the W candidate master, WCM, but she feels it makes no sense, as she will get something higher later. My pawn structure is just ridiculous. I don't think playing for titles is stupid, as Carlos says. I don't think it really is. It's just like this is a thing that only happens. Chess is specific with the titles, let's say, but it makes a lot of sense. Even the WCM title does make some sense, as there are quite a number of tournaments now that require being titled. So this is it's not such a bad idea to get a title, and it's a bit of a confirmation for yourself that you have achieved a certain degree of mastery. I think it's not a bad thing to do. It's a question, however, what kind of title you want to aspire to. I often get the question if I shoot for the GM title, and I don't just have completely different priorities. And even if I had the priority to try to get the GM, it's absolutely not clear that I would get there. I mean, it's a very difficult title to get, at least for a player of my talent level. So I have repaired some of my positional deficits, and now I can start to win pawns. Yeah, there is this 10,000 hour rule that if you invest 10,000 hours, you could become an expert in everything. I don't feel super qualified to comment on that, but having a talent for stuff is a thing. And I know, for example, that for some things I'm completely untalented, and I'm not sure that the 10,000 hours would help me. Let's say. So, do I take it? He's got a bit of counterplay. My rook is funky. Takes. I wonder what the best way to play is here. Pawns are not very quick. Of course, I can simply flank, but it's not what I want to do. That was my idea. Question by VNK4. Chessable needs a French defense course with video. Okay, you know, I don't know everything what Chessable has in store in the future, but I know for sure that there is a very, very good author writing a Chessable course on the French defense. It's not me, by the way. Don't get me wrong, it's not me. But there is a very, very highly qualified author working on it right now. And it's scheduled for release shortly, in the summer. So it's not far away. Okay, thanks for the game, neue. I think the playing Mauerblümchen. It's a nice German name. The Yusupov series is also coming to Chessable step by step. As far as I know. What is the good English word for Mauerblümchen? What is the English word for that? I wonder. There is a nice word for that, but I don't quite, it doesn't come to my mind at the moment. Any English expert, like Golodion English is excellent. Maybe you can help out. What is Mauerblümchen in English? The wallflower. Really? Yeah, that's the one-to-one. It's really, this is the same, has the same meaning, yeah? Okay, interesting. Never thought about that. That is exactly the same. Interesting. Cinderella. Yeah. Cinderella's story. A mousy. She's a mousy. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, there might be a Chessable French course out, but there is a GM, there is a lifetime repertoire French defense in development by a top 15 grandmaster. So a super strong player. Not sure. It's probably not possible to say the name, so I'm just saying a top 15 GM. I don't quite understand the question. There's a question by who cares about your chess? I don't understand the question. Can you elaborate? I blundered a4 and Mauerblümchen didn't take it. I just want to keep a4. of course, you can improve your chess by working on it, but there are definite limits to what you can achieve depending on your talent and of course on your willingness to work, how much time you can invest. And this is something that is important. I don't think the sky is the limit for everyone. And this 10,000 hour rule, I think it talks about mastery, yeah? And I'm really not sure about that. It's a matter of what mastery is. It's not Nepo. That much I can say. Okay, the queen here is super annoying. I really want to trade the queen. Oh, he wants to trade the queen. Or she, in fact. But I think it's a him, actually. Or it's he. So, take this. Take c7. I have to be quicker. So, just take everything. Take the money and run. Yep. So, yeah, 95 is just a good position to be on. So after my experience with chess training, what I can say is I always thought that if you really work a lot on your chess, you work like a madman. Everybody could reach like 2,200. Is that expert level? Not sure. What is expert level? It's tough to say. I always thought that this is possible, and now I don't think that it is. I think there are people who can invest infinite amount of hours and they don't get to 2,200. It's just not possible. It's a matter of skill set, and somehow not everybody has it. They are maybe talented for many other things, but not chess. It's just very specific skill set. Yeah, 1800, 1900 is possible for most, but many never get there, even if they invest lots of time. So I'm trying to gain lots of space here with d5 and trying to shut out the bishop on b7. I think it definitely does help if you have background in other games or something like that. It does help, but it takes a long time, even if you're excellent at something. I mean, you sometimes see people starting to play chess that come from a different background. And let's say people, let's say who play poker, yeah? You sometimes see that extremely strong poker players do play chess. And you can take somebody, let's say, if you know poker, you probably know Daniel Negreanu. He's one of the most well-known poker players ever, let's say. And he's a hobby chess player, and certainly he has some kind of talent for games and so on. And I mean, him getting to 2,200, I think he's rated like 1,500 or so on chess.com. And he has put in some effort, a little bit of effort at least. And maybe he could get to 2,200, but it would take a long time. It's not so easy. It's really not so easy. Is Phil Hellmuth a chess player? I never really investigated that. I just have experienced so many different people taking lessons, let's say. There have been people, you do exactly the same exercise, let's say, with two persons, and one person is simply immediately grasping the essence of the exercise, like instantly. And then you have other people who are extremely capable in other areas, but they simply don't get chess. It happens. It just happens. It's not, there's nothing wrong about it, or it's just what it is. And they could be fantastically great in something else, but they're not good at chess. And this is not strictly a matter of intelligence or something. Very intelligent people, but some are just not good at chess for whatever reason. And I'm not there to explain why that is. It's just my experience. I mean, you sometimes see that people that are really good chess players are not really intelligent. I mean, this is also something that is quite evident. I mean, you can never be a super strong chess player and be a completely incapable of anything. But you don't need to be a genius to be a very strong player. That game is actually really weird. I was talking so much about stuff, I didn't really look at the game, and my position sucks completely. F5 now could be a problem. I've played really completely backwards chess here. Put all my pieces on the back rank. Doesn't look good. No, I'm not saying that you can be dumb and be a strong chess player. I'm just saying that there's sometimes the idea that all those super strong players are geniuses, like universal geniuses, and they're not. Probably not. I don't like my position. I really misplayed this terribly. Bishop c8 is a good move. Yeah, I need some kind of coordination there. Wow. What? Daniel Negreanu had a 2,300 blitz rating on chess.com? That's crazy. Really? I thought he was like a 1,500 player or something. Okay. Yeah, I get completely annihilated here by Banter. My score is also just 1-1, so he beat me before. Yeah, I played this game really badly. And he's playing very, very forceful chess. Bishop takes f5 coming. He's slow though. Ugh, my position sucks so bad. Bishop f5. Rook. Ugh. Yeah, my position is just lost. I just need to try to not lose quickly. Going to be difficult. I'm a pawn up. Hooray. How can I try to do something here with the pawn at least? It's pretty awful. I really hate my position here. Whoa, I didn't get checkmated. And I win on time. But that was, of course, very well played by Banter. All right. Is there maybe, can somebody send a 1 minute challenge? I think I can do one minute game, 1 bullet game. I cannot really do the show much longer because otherwise it would collide with the later broadcast. So they specifically said you can stream at 1:15, but you have to be all right. I think there might be some specific skill sets that are helpful for chess. One that I know that I have is I have an excellent memory for data, simply, and that helps. I can easily recall move sequences and stuff like that. I mean, we had earlier question about who is the youngest world champion, like birth years and so on. I'm really good with that. So I just have to seen it once on Wikipedia and then I know it. I know the birth years of many people just from seeing it once on Wikipedia. Yes, I do forget some of the repertoires I've written myself. It's just too much. But I know that there are some strong players. Thanks for the game, Chess Bees Austria. Some strong players have excellent memory. For example, Peter Leko recently did some broadcasts for Chess24, and he has it's not, I'm not sure if photographic memory is correct. He has an excellent like visual memory. If he sees something written on a piece of paper, I think there are couple of various versions of this photographic memory, and he has something like that. He told me, or he told us when he did a training session once in my chess club, that he's very good with that. So thanks a lot for watching the show, and I'll be back next week, probably similar starting times, doing the broadcast, the show here before the, what is that? Lindorus Abbey Rapid. I'm not sure. This Lindorus, it always has me with Linares. They know there is no relation, whatever. And then they have Abbey Rapid, and I'm always thinking about Abbey Road by the Beatles, and I'm completely confused. Anyway, thanks for watching the show. I'll be back next week. Bye bye, guys.